Hello again and welcome to another episode of Forever Wild. My name is Ben Roadkill Abercrombie, and this week we're going to be studying the world of spiders. Spiders and their kin specifically. The spider has captured the imagination of people dating back thousands and thousands of years. The spider has been the story of books, novels, movies. Lots of different imaginative stories have been written about them throughout the years. One very special story to our hearts relates the spider to the web of life, where every living creature is a little strand in this spider's web. And the spider's web we're speaking about is just like this little teeny tiny orb weaver web we have right beside us right here. And it's blowing back and forth in the wind quite a bit. It has little bitty strands that come out, radiate from the center, and in the middle of that web is the little teeny tiny spider that we have next to us. He's decided to take a hike. In the time I was talking to you, he's up here on the branch now. Now, a spider's web looks like the web of an ecosystem. If every strand was to, where it comes together would be a plant or an animal or a rock or a tree or a fish, could be anything in the ecosystem. And the old Native American legend has it that the web of life, whatever happens to the web of life, happens to us, happens to people themselves. And that is the way we teach ecology at Playcard Environmental Education Center, teaching you about the web of life and how we take care of each thread in that web of life. The spider weaves the web of life, and to the Native American peoples, that meant the symbol for spider is the symbol for infinity, for everlasting life. They have a head, and they have or a cephalothorax, and they have an abdomen. They have two signs like that. But if you hold the spider's body sideways, they make the figure 8. And the figure 8, if you'll know, in our writings today, symbolizes infinity. So from even Native American times, it passed down that legend of infinity being, and the spider being connected to everlasting life or infinite life throughout the ages. The spider is a very special creature to our heart, and we're going to be studying the world of the spider on this episode of Forever Wild. Come join us. Our first example of a spider that we have that's now dropping to the earth because he thinks the web's being threatened is a little orb weaver spider that you typically see at Playcard Environmental Education Center and all over the woods in Horry County. Here he comes back. He's just dropping off from his little drag line. As you can see, this little spider here is sitting in the typical position right between all of the strands of the web. Now, spiders can come in several different web arrays, and this will be our first web array type of spider that we're going to call the Orb Weaver Spider. An orb is simply the circles, everlasting circles that these spiders weave every day and every night. And what all the orb weavers do is in the evening time, they will actually eat their web while they simultaneously spit out more web from their little tiny spinneret on the tail side of their abdomen, and they make this spider completely over every evening. So 100% recycling of its web every evening. How'd you like to eat your house and spit it back out your backside every day to be able to rebuild your house? That's a lot of work from that little orb weaver spider. And they're all over the woods. As a matter of fact, there is some people out there that estimate there are over 100,000 spiders in a square surface acre of woodland, this being no exception. We are right here in the middle of the woods, and that is a beautiful example of a little orb weaver spider at Playcard. Another little woodland spider that is an orb weaver, of the orb weaver variety, weaves a very elaborate webs, is the Spiny crab-like orb weaver. This little variety here you may not want to handle quite so readily because it does tend to bite. I'm going to put him here, put her in the end of the stick here. She's going to catch her web and go back to the center for us. As you can see, she has lots of little spots on her tail, on her abdomen there. And she's got these little spines that stick off the back. Whoop. I'm going to take a chance, and we're going to let her get on my finger. Well, maybe we won't. Oh, where'd she go? She dropped off a drag line. There we go. Whoa, there she goes. She's working to get back up. Okay, there you are. The spiny, crab-like orb weaver. Got a very, very noticeable abdomen. We call them the smiley face tail spiders here at the center because that's what the kids see on the designs and on their dots on their abdomen here. There's a little smiley face. If I can get the camera to kind of look at it. There. Oh, come on now, baby. Turn over. She's so big she flips over like a turtle and she can't get back on her front side. There it goes. Oop. Well, got her drag line. There you go. Well, look at her flip over. Doing. There she goes. Oh. There you go. Flip, you little devil. You see her? Well, she's so heavy, her tail end's so heavy she just keeps flipping over. Look at that. See, oh, she's, come back up here. She's on her drag line. Okay, we'll catch her with her drag line. Here we go. This is a good time to talk about the two parts of a spider, if I can pick her up without getting bit. Come here, you little devil. There you go. Well, get her right there and grab her on the side of her abdomen. Okay. Now, spiders have got two parts to their body. It's going to be very small and very hard to see. You've got two parts. You've got one part, which is their abdomen back here, and you've got the cephalothorax. Cepha meaning head, thorax meaning thorax, which is the middle part of an insect. This is not an insect. It only has two body parts, and it has 8 legs, whereas the insect species have got 6 legs, and they usually have wings. Spiders do not have wings. Look at there. And that's the difference between a spider and an insect. Let's put her back up here. Once again, the spiny, crab-like orb weaver. Now, one of the spiders that runs around on the ground and just leaves a drag line and jumps on its prey instead of having a web like typical orb weaver spiders or cobwebs is a jumping spider. And here underneath this leaf you can see a good example of a jumping spider. We're going to pull it around here, kind of take the leaf off. If you can see up under here, whoop, he's hiding out from that sunshine. He thinks sunshine is danger. And yes, it does mean danger. As you can see, he's got bright orange little teeny eyes on him. He's got long cat-like front legs that allow him to jump out and pounce on his prey, similar to a cat pouncing on his prey. And he takes his pedipalps, he feels around on the prey, and he injects his venom into him, and he slurps the insides out of the victim. So that is a little teeny jumping spider. One of the best spiders in the world that you can show the kids how they, whoop, see him jump on my finger right there? How spiders attack their prey. They're very active hunters, especially at night. And if you take a red lens on a flashlight and shine it through the forest, oh, he jumped off my finger. A lot of those spiders are going to be that little jumping spider like we just saw. If you ever want to go out and find some spiders, one of the more common species to find in the woods is called the common wood spider. And it's named that so since it is, well, let me see if we can catch one here and show you. These guys crawl around in the leaf litter, and they live all on little teeny tiny insects that are found on leaf litter. Let's see if we can pick him up on this leaf right here, and he won't spook. There is an example of the common wood spider. This spider right here can be found just about anywhere in Horry County, as well as South Carolina, or along the eastern seaboard, in wooded environments, under leaves, also in your house. These guys are safely, whoa, he jumped off, are safely eating tons and tons and tons of insects each year. As a matter of fact, every year spiders eat more than 4 times the weight of the human population in insects. And if we didn't have spiders, insects would actually overrun the world and eat all of our food crops. So we are dependent on this spider for survival on all these species that we're going to show to you today. Spiders are beneficial in many ways to the human population. So the next time you see a spider, instead of killing them, realize that they are generally your friend and are out to help us out as human beings. The little wood spider. Now this is a little bolo spider, and as you can see, he's running around all over my hands. One of the interesting characteristics of a spider is no matter where they run, they can produce a drag line, right, that spins out of their tail end, out of their spinnerets, everywhere they step. So if they were to fall out of your hands, they can actually suspend like, oh, well, shoot, he jumped up. Come on, devil. Yeah! Don't you come up my pants? Where'd he go? Come back here. Come on. I'll go, whip. That little drag line acts like a rappelling rope to you or me. So he actually rappels off of things, jumps off, and he has a little line that's connected to him. And it looks like he's just jumping off right there. He's still got that little piece of silk coming out behind his tail end to keep him from blowing away. There he goes. I can pick him up with it right there. If you just see how you pick him up, there's the drag line coming out the back. Whoop. There's a little drag line. So that's the Boa Spider, demonstrating the characteristics of all spiders, that little drag line that every spider carries with them, keeping them safe, keeping them from blowing away in the wind. Well, a cobweb is the type of web that we spoke about earlier, where the web all comes together in kind of a misformed shape. And many of you household owners know what cobwebs look like in your homes. Here's a cobweb out in the woods that we found at Playcard. This is a beautiful example of a cobweb with the sunlight pouring through, and you can see all the different filamentous strands of it right in here. And of course it is a capturing type of spider that sits right on the end of one of these branches. Instead of being directly in the center of the cob, it may be on the end of one of these sensor lines, they call these things. And whenever an insect gets into the middle of the cobweb, it'll start pulling on the sensor lines very gently. And then that little spider will run down there and quickly spray some silk on that spider, on the little bitty prey insect, and it will wrap it up tight. Either suck out the juices immediately or save it for later, kind of like putting something in a Ziploc bag to you and me. They just wrap it up tight. So that's your cobweb type of spider that made this cobweb here. What we have here is a drift fence drop bucket setup. And this is a good way you can catch spiders, insects, shrews, turtles, frogs, any kind of an animal that lives across the bottom on the ground, especially in the evening hours or at night, is going to be fall victim to our trap here. All we have is two 2.5-gallon buckets dug into the ground on either side of this piece of 12-inch long, 10-foot long, 12-inch wide drift fence. This drift fence is nothing more than flashing that you get at your local hardware store. The whole setup costs about $8.50 to buy. And in the bottom of each bucket, you can put down a cellulose sponge to keep your amphibians alive if they fall in them. Most people use this type fencing or this type trap setup to study amphibians, but you can catch many species of spider. As a matter of fact, we have a very special inhabitant of our woodland that we caught last night that fell victim to our trap here. And this is the American short-tailed shrew. He's got a little tail here on the end, and this shrew is it has to eat every 2 hours or he dies. So last night, while we were not here at the center, he actually fell victim to our trap. He got into the trap. He did not have availability of food, so he ended up kicking the bucket. But he's being recycled by a lot of little beetles and larvae down in here right now. I just wanted to show you that little short-tailed shrew just as a side note of some things you might catch. This guy eats his body weight in insects every 2 days. He eats his whole body weight in insects. It'd be like you being able to eat 300 hamburgers in 2 days. I mean, that is a lot of food this guy's really ingesting to keep his body temperature at its optimal level underground where he lives. We're going to let him go over here. We're just going to let him sit off to the side. We've got a couple other creatures we've caught in our trap last night. I'm going to see if we can pick this thing up here. Now, some things we know, and some things we don't. He's trying to go down a hole in the bottom. I have to pull him out. This is one of those species that falls in the latter category. Without having a true beetle expert here, we're not even going to guess at this one. This guy is one of the most unique colored creatures. Well, he's stuck. Get out of there. In our forest. I'm not going to hold him because he's awful bright colored. Well, I guess we will. Okay, he's right there. Look at there. Some type of arthropod that has an extremely long body. And I'm sure he'll turn into some type of beetle or other type of flying insect at a later date. And that's the larva stage of one right there. He rolls up when he gets scared, so I guess he doesn't have a stinger. He's got orange spots on him. Isn't that cool? You never know what you're going to find in these little traps. And to kids, these traps are like an outdoor Disneyland. They love to go check the traps every day and see what kind of amazing critter that they found. So if you want to learn more about your environment, install you a drift fence in your neighborhood or in your yard, but make sure you mark it well so nobody falls in these holes. These can break people's legs if they fall in them. We use a simple can lid like that, bucket lid, and we just clip it on like this and like this every night before we go home. That way we kill no creatures in our trap that we don't mean to kill or catch for our kids to see at our environmental education center. A drift fence, wonderful way to study biology. Another good place that you can find spiders is along the edge of a water area like this. Like we have a swamp right here behind us. You may have a pond, a river system, even a swimming pool. There are spiders that will take advantage of those niches wherever they may be. We have spiders called fisher spiders out here at Playcard that will go along and they'll take their front legs and they'll dwindle them up and down on the surface of the water until a fish comes up and they'll eat those. We've got spiders that go and they live in little burrows underground right beside the water's edge and wait for creatures to come across the top. They jump up out of their trapdoor and eat those. We have not caught any of those for this show though, so we're going to do our best in the next little while to see if we can catch them for your enjoyment. But remember, the next time you go walking around a pond's edge, remember, study your spiders and have your kids catch some of them. It will be just a wonderful experience for you. But remember, when you catch a spider, use a stick. Don't use your finger. That is probably the best way to get bit by a spider, is to grab one by hand. Remember, hold a stick out there, put them in a little Ziploc bag, and you can collect all the spiders you want safely for studying back at your classroom or your house, or possibly even for releasing back at your woodland later. Make sure you take care of your environment by releasing those spiders after you study them. Here you can see a sheet web, and a sheet web is a different type of web than we have seen previously. What they're designed to do is they're designed to catch creatures that are crawling across the earth or jumping across the earth, such as grasshoppers or crickets or other things like that, maybe an ant or two. And underneath the sheet web is a little cavern or chamber that the spider lives in, and we're going to go down and we're going to pull that spider web apart and see if we can see the sheet web spider in action. There, you can pull it down, pull it down, pull it down. And the spider got away from us. So I guess we're going to have to show you just how the sheet web looks. Remember, the types of webs are the orb web, the round-shaped web, the cobweb that's all different shapes and sizes, and the sheet web that's flat on the ground. And then we may have the funnel web. We're going to go see if we can find one of those next. Now, in many different habitats, including your house, spiders live. And one of our most special species at the center here is a species of spider that likes to inhabit the center, inside. And we let them live in here for very good reason. They catch all kinds of creatures. We're going to see if we can tease him out of his little funnel in there. This is a funnel weaving spider. Come on out here. Come on out here. We're going to pretend like we're a little insect caught in that web, and we're going to jump around. Come on, buddy. Come on. Come on. Oh, you see him starting to move? Look at him come out and investigate. Where are you? Oh, look at him attack that. Oh, he went back in. You see him? Wow, that was cool. That was like a lightning bolt with 8 legs. Come on back, come on back. And he's like, no way, buddy, that's a trick. The reason why they can come out and you can trick them like that is because their eyesight is very limited. If they have a web, they feel with their legs. Their sense of feel is a lot better than their sense of sight. So the next time you're out and about, that's a really good way to show kids how a spider uses its sense of feel to attack its prey. You can take your little stick, not your finger, and hold it up there on the bottom of their web and pull these little sensor lines very gently like an insect would. And that spider will come out and attack. Really an interesting funnel web spider in our center. Right below the exit sign at Playcard Environmental Education Center. He's hiding there all year. Here on Forever Wild, we use a couple of resources books when we were talking about spiders, and a couple of them you can use in your classroom as well as teaching the kids at home. Or to identify the spiders, we like the National Audubon Society Field Guide to North American Insects and Spiders. This is a good pocket reference guide for you people out that like to go out on the trail and explore nature on your own. This is a wonderful way you can teach your children as well. It has full life-size color photos of a lot of the different insects and spiders that you'll find in your local area. There's another book that you might want to review if you're a teacher or if you're running a program where you'd like to educate children in a more formal setting, and that is Hands on Nature. This is a book put out by the Vermont Institute of Natural Science. As a matter of fact, a lot of the topics for today are coming directly from the pages of this book, and we are using it as a reference on our show today. As you open up the pages of the book, we're going to see spiders and their webs. And in these pictures, we're going to go through the different types of webs you might see in your environment. The first web we're going to take a look at here is the sheet web. It's a lot of different sheets hooked together on the limb. Then you have orb webs that are flat, and they're shaped like a great big typical quote-unquote Charlotte's Web shape of web, big typical spider web we all think about, especially right now around Halloween. And then you have the cobweb. It's just a big bunch of different strands going every which way but loose. And the spider's right in the middle of that, or sometimes out on one of its sensor lines on the side of the cobweb here. And then we have the funnel web, which is basically a small sheet across the ground that leads to one centralized funnel that the spider hides down in and lurks in search of its prey that may jump on off of the ground and land inside the funnel for its last time. All right, any of you guys out there want to study about spiders? That is some really good resources for you. Well, friends, if you would like to come out and enjoy Playcard Environmental Education Center, we have a public event day that is free to all invited. Anybody that would like to come in Horry, Georgetown, Marion, anywhere across the country can come out and enjoy the festivities of Swamp Fest 2003. What we do at Swamp Fest is we're going to have everything from hay rides to local artists. We're going to have vendors. We're going to have a climbing wall out here so the kids can climb. We're going to kayak the swamp. The kids and the adults are going to be able to kayak our swamp. We're going to have Coastal Carolina University and as well as Horry Georgetown Tech coming out, leading swamp tours and teaching about the biology and the ecology of the area. Specialists in their field teaching about everything from bats to entomology and so on. We have just got a great day of adventure planned. We also have a Native American village that's going to be fully functional, as well as a pioneer cabin and pioneer crafts. So bring your kids, come on out, enjoy yourself for a free special event Saturday, November the 1st, 2003. Activities start at 10 o'clock a.m. to 3 o'clock p.m. Please come out to Swamp Fest 2003. If you like the topics that we study on Forever Wild and would like to bring your class on a field trip to study those topics, or many of the different topics that we have to offer at our center, we have science-based curriculum programs dedicated to the science standards in South Carolina, and you might sign up by calling Mary Barnhill at 488-6755. Once again, we run field trips Monday through Friday. We open the center approximately 8 o'clock every day and close at 3:30. And if you would like to enjoy the trails of our center, more than welcome to come out. As long as my car's here and I am here and you're able to walk around, you can enjoy Playcard Environmental Education Center. We're looking for school field trips. Possibly every now and then we might do a field trip with a church group. We can do scout organizations. Many organizations can enjoy Playcard Environmental Education Center. So please give Mary Barnhill a call at 488-6755 at your convenience and enjoy Playcard Environmental Education Center. Remember, we're forever wild. All right. Here we have the Rabid wolf spider. And this Rabid wolf spider, as you can see, has got 8 legs. Well, today it's got 7 because one of them had been knocked off, but it will reproduce that leg later in a later molt. So if they lose a leg, they can reproduce them. They have 8 legs. They have got 4 sets of eyes right here on its head. He's got a group of eyes on top. The eyes see very dimly, but they see better than the Orb Weaver spiders because these guys are literally walk around and see movement and they jump on it and they attack it. In the front here, they have pedipalps. If you can look right there where I'm touching, that is called a pedipalp, right there beside the fangs. Underneath the body, they do have fangs. They have a cephalothorax. They have 2 body parts, the cephalothorax, and they have the thorax, cephalothorax and the abdomen right here. Once again, cephalothorax, abdomen. Camouflage shape, or camouflage coloration to attack insect prey. We're going to flip him over and show the spider's business end here. Extremely large fangs. These guys here have got some of the largest fangs of any spider in South Carolina. Very large, very aggressive spider, used to attacking prey. You can see they're all folded up there. They can fold out, stick into the prey, inject the prey with enzymes, and turn the insides of that insect into liquid. and they literally suck out the insides of the insect just like you're sucking out milkshakes through a straw. It's an amazing way they eat. This is the spider's reproductive organs right here in the middle of the abdomen. And on the tail here, we have 4 spigot-shaped spinnerets. 1, 2, 3, 4, right there. And what those things do is they spray out a liquid form of silk that dries very quickly and becomes a strand stronger than steel and more elastic than many different substances on Earth. One of the strongest materials available in the world. It is a wonderful creature. Adaptations for survival are numerous. They've been around much longer than human beings on Earth, and they'll probably be around a lot longer after we're gone. Who knows? So again, you can see the characteristic figure-8 shape between the cephalothorax and the abdomen on the tail. That's where the Native Americans got the symbol for infinity, the never-ending circle of life. These 2 circles right here. I hope you enjoyed our spider show. We'll see you next time on Forever Wild.